Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here. As mentioned by Matthew, I'm Rahman Hamid. I'm heading the Data and AI function at United Bank Limited. And we have embarked on a journey to actually transition from a lake and data warehouse onto a data lakehouse for obvious reasons, which is to utilize artificial intelligence in our day-to-day lives to provide best experiences to our customers. Today's session is going to go on by me setting the context, providing you an insight onto the challenges and the vision and the response to those challenges that we've made, how we're implementing those responses, what enablement that brings to us, the benefits that we're seeing, and where we want to be in the future. Before I set the context, let's set the tone. So, United Bank Limited has become obsessed by infusing AI into all of our processes to provide excellent customer experiences across all channels. So it's not about just walking into a branch. It's every time you interact with anyone from UBL, you should be getting the best experience possible. Think Apple. Everyone loves going into an Apple store. Even though you're spending thousands of dollars, you love going in there because of the experience you get. You're going to get your problem solved. That's where we want to be. Now, on to setting the context. Pakistan is a booming country which has a population of about 240 million people. 55% of that population is less than 25 years of age. So there's a lot of potential over there where there's a very digital savvy new generation that's coming up that wants an AI first, digital first, mobile first interaction with all their daily life activities. Having said that, currently we are a very cash-centered society, which has about 60% of adults. That's about 65 to 70 million people that have an account in the banks. Compare that to the mobile density, where 130 million people have telephone connections. So there's a lot of room for growth, especially with the up-and-coming new generation that requires digital-first interactions. We have UBL that has a substantial stake in the banking industry. It's one of the three biggest banks in the country. We have a huge market share, which is growing increasingly. Just to give you an example, we have doubled our daily account openings in the last 12 months, and we intend to further it by the end of December to be at 2.5 times where we were 12 months ago. Like every industry, we're seeing a lot of change in the financial sector industry, more so because everyone wants to have a bespoke and an excellent experience every time they come in and they touch with us. With every bank, the AI is flipping everything on its head. What it does is, it doesn't leave room for any mistakes. Each bad experience that we provide actually sets us back 10 points. So we need to make sure that we move with the world, we move with the disruption, we're catering to the innovation through AI, through data and analytics. And AI requires data to be at the forefront and be solid when we make our decisions and insights and intelligent actions on it. Moving with the world, we've been talking to the business in what they want and the challenges that they're facing. And primarily, it's all about the customer experiences across omni-channel. So you'll see a lot of banks that do really well in one channel, but then they're lagging in the other. So it's all about bringing everything under one umbrella. The innovation and AI productionalization, you see pocs of AIs everywhere, where you get a really good experience, again, in one part of the bank, but then it really lags in the other part of the bank. We need to make sure that we give consistent, excellent experiences. And last but not least, for big, old banks, it is becoming more and more important to become more agile, to cater to the challenges that the fintech sector is bringing on. These business challenges translate directly into data and IT and AI challenges. How so? Most of the processes are legacy processes. They're legacy systems. We have data capture issues. When we do capture the data, it does not reflect the process in its entirety. So you could see, and I think all of us have seen, that process would be mapped, but there would be no data capturing in all of those logical steps that processes walks through. So that is the primary challenge, that we have to go and fetch all that data, bring it all together, and then cohesively bring it together to provide to our customers through a serving layer that they can action on. We can do the best insights, the best AI, but if it's not in the field, what good is it? So we need to make sure we do that. And obviously, as we do the data capture and we bring more and more data into the systems that we can capture, there is an exponential growth. 20% of data in large organizations is used in one way or the other. With the explosion of this data, it gets even less. So we need to make sure that in the age of AI, we can actually move from data to insights and to action. That is the only way forward for any bank or any organization, because AI is not just a nice to have now, it's a survival basic need to survive in this industry now. These data challenges, there are many data challenges that we've faced. Data silos is the biggest challenge that we face. I could count at least 7 to 10 different data silos that we have at UBL. Everyone's got their own DB, they've got their own BI tool that they're working on, making sure that they get their business answered, but they're not looking at the holistic picture. I was given an example. A customer walks into a branch, does their transaction. By the time they walk out, they're getting a phone call that there is an ATM card waiting for them at their branch. He was there 5 minutes ago. There is no single source of truth that can service our customers in their entirety. And that's what we're trying to tackle. Break down the silos, get people out of their comfort zone, make sure that we've got all the data, everything in one place to service our customers fully and provide them with experiences that leaves a good feeling with them for the future. Another main problem that we face, as I've mentioned, we've got POCs everywhere, but the realization of the return on investment on AI, that's a key figure. A lot of people do AI use cases, POCs, but when it gets delivered, there is no clear tagging of what benefit it brings. It gets eroded in the data. It gets eroded with people claiming different aspects of AI to be part of their processes. So we need to make sure that the data and all the AI POCs that we do or industrialization that we do, we need to be able to tag it to the benefit it brings in a tangible format. All of that happens when we have a reliable, robust data platform. That is what we discovered through the vision that we've built, which basically is to provide intelligent, data-driven decisioning to all the decision makers of UBL, be it the head office, be it the branches, the call center, or anywhere else. It is underpinned by 4 major pillars. The first one is a modern, robust data platform, which is cloud-ready and can crunch large amounts of data in a timely fashion. The second is about uplifting the skills and building an operating model that is built for UBL. It doesn't have to be a centralized unit. It doesn't have to be a fragmented unit. It has to be that works for UBL. And every organization has its own. The third one is about the processes, enablement, delivery of AI and data analytics to the front line. And last but not least, the data governance aspect of it. Because we need to make sure that the right type of person has access to the right data at the right time. After hospitals, your banks are the most important places that people store all their life savings at. We need to be conscious of that fact, and we need to protect their data and their assets. Based on this, we started building out a strategy that is based on 6 basic principles. It has to be business value centric. It cannot be an IT strategy. It will fail. It's not a question of when. It's not a question of if. It's about a question of when. The data stack has to be modern and cloud ready, because we cannot do everything. We cannot have a data center or a data platform that caters to all the peak loads. It is not possible, it is not feasible, and it is not smart. So we need to make sure that we have a hybrid deployment where we can move our workloads, that we can train data on the cloud, bring it back, and infer it on our premises so that we have data sovereignty issues are resolved, but again, we have those peak loads on the cloud. Trusted and high quality data. Garbage in, garbage out. We've heard that so many times. Anything we do, any insights, any AI, if you do not give it good quality data that is sufficient for that use case, it will not give you a good result. We're just going to go faster in hitting the wall that's in front of us. So we just need to make sure that we give it good, high-quality data. We need to innovate, just like any industry, any workplace. We cannot just take things off the books and implement them. It has to be something that is built fit for purpose, bespoke, and we need to keep on innovating as we go along, continuously improving and continuously deploying all the code, all the practices that we come across. Efficient data operating model, and then have an AI-ready platform. Because data analytics, we hear about Gen AI, we don't hear so much about Gen BI. Everything is now moving into NLPs. The dashboards are dying. We need to make sure that the data gets delivered in an AI, BI perspective that is suitable for today's world. So we need to make sure that the data is suited for where we want to be in a couple of years or in 6 months or 18 months, not where we wanted to be 2 years ago. As part of that first pillar, we then evaluated all the different approaches from a platform perspective. We had a data lake and a data warehouse, where the data lake turned out to be another silo, and it was counterproductive and counterintuitive what we wanted to achieve. So we decided to move to a Lakehouse architecture, bringing everything under one umbrella, bringing structured, unstructured data, the metadata, activating it through the data lake, on the data lakehouse, to make sure that we can do BI and AI at the same place with minimal data movement. Currently, we were doing it with the previous data lake. We were doing it, moving data into the warehouse, merging the data, then taking it back, and then bringing it back for insights to the data warehouse to be delivered through a delivery mechanism such as Power BI or Tableau. So the data movement in itself was costing us 2 to 3 weeks. So if you look at it from the foundational perspective, on the right-hand side, my right-hand side, you'd see the old architecture in which you can see everything's going everywhere. There's no way you can tell how you got to that result, how the insight was provided, and where does it go from here. There's no lineage. I wasn't able to tell in a year which part of the world that insight was coming from. There was slow time to value. There were data silos, inconsistent reporting. You could report the same number in 2 different departments. They would not match. And then when it gets to the executive committee, there was no decision that could have been taken. So many times it was said, you guys go figure it out and bring it back to us and tell us what's the right number. And it's been happening in more than one place, not just UPL. Everywhere I worked at, boardrooms are not confident in making decisions based on fragmented data. AI was slow and error-prone. ROIs were never realized or were not clearly realized, and the value for money was being eroded. There was no way we could tell how the data platform's investment could be justified. Moving into the new architecture, we've created a clear data lakehouse where all data resides in one. We model the data as a single source of truth that can then connect to the cloud when needed, and has a serving layer that is a modern tool such as Tableau Next, and then also deliver most of the insights from an AI perspective, from a Gen BI perspective. People misinterpret dashboards. What we want to do is provide dashboards, and people can look at it and come to the same conclusion. We have tried that. It is very difficult. So we are changing the game. We want to deliver it from a generative BI perspective. And all of this happens in a well-governed and a responsible manner to make sure the data is safe and secure at all times. Moving on to the new platform and the new architecture, we're still saving money. We're increasing our compute. We're increasing our capacity. We're moving on to actionable insights. We had 500 users using business intelligence tools. We have 2,000 today. And then we've got a hybrid deployment where we can service more data and go on for more compute and do better analysis when we need to. One of the data lake aspects that we've had is the big data craze came on, and we jumped onto that bandwagon, which which taught us a valuable lesson. You should always have platforms that are fit for purpose. You should not go for the hype, and make sure that it is fit for purpose and is a requirement for the organization. We started building out a data lake in 2019. By 2025, we had worked a lot on it, but the file formats, the network architecture, the architecture of itself was not fit for purpose for UBL. And in the end, we had decided that the Lakehouse, that the existing lake would not be part of the Lakehouse that we were doing, and we moved to Teradata and a Dell data Lakehouse. So once we had finalized our architecture, we moved forward to understand how we could implement it. And then we, in November of last year, started a selection process on how we would go forward with that. It took us a few months to understand the architecture, to talk to the various vendors and principals that had come on to offer their services to us. We did a lot of customer calls all the way from South Korea to the US, people primarily who had moved off data lakes and onto data lake houses, and how their experience had been on different platforms. Looking at the holistic picture, the data maturity of UBL at the time, Teradata, along with Dell, was the best choice that we could move forward with. Teradata has a long-standing relationship with UBL. It has been around for 10 years now. They started off as a small with a small footprint at UBL, where they were helping a domain, the finance domain, with their problems. However, moving forward, looking at the data lakehouse architecture that we were going to build and the MPP capabilities of Teradata, coupled with its native connectivity with an object store, which is S3 and cloud ready, we favored it to bring forward their best, bring their best foot forward and give us a solution that would be fit for purpose or UBL. I think we did about 40, 50 different meetings, discussions, and over multiple months, we considered how we would move forward. Considering everything, the Dell and Teradata's partnership was the best way forward for us. And also because of the future product roadmap that they have with ClearScape Analytics, the AI factory that they're bringing, I think we're moving in the right direction to make sure that we have a future-proof data lakehouse that enables us to harness the power of data for all AI needs. And after we had finalized our architecture and the principle that was going to go forward, we then started charting out the project that we had to do. So as you can see, it looks like a single project. It's not. It's a multi-pronged project that has a long-reaching effects across UBL. And why so is that we're not just updating our data stack, we're actually refreshing and rebuilding the whole thing as a new one, while we're actually running the old one in place as well. So first aspect was the Teradata data warehouse upgrade. So moving from the 2850 machine to IntelliFlex 2.5, that was the easy bit. So we got the new machine, we put it in, we start transferring, and move the old one into a test dev environment. The second one is about moving Dell and putting it on as the production and DR site, where then we can connect it to Teradata, where we can use NOS to actually start moving data into the object store. The third one, which I'm going to come back to, is the tricky part, which is the migration from the existing data lake onto the new one. The fourth one is having a disaster recovery as per regulation available to us geographically in a different place. And the last but not least is moving the managed services onto Teradata, which is expensive, but I think it's the value for money is there if you look at the bigger picture. So coming back to the migration, there are two aspects of the painful migration from the current data lake onto the object store in Teradata. So one is just moving the historical data across through. Teradata has its HDMA accelerators that leverages Hadoop resources edge nodes to actually move the data across. One of the More complex challenges was it was not in Parquet format. It was in ORC with ACID properties, which requires an extra time and extra effort, which Teradata's professional services is actually managing very well, in my opinion. And we're moving forward, excuse me, we're moving forward with moving it, and hopefully we'll be completely done with it in the next couple of weeks. The second aspect, where we have even better collaboration and better working relationship with Teradata, is refactoring the file ingestion and the data transformation perspectives. In the data lake, there were some redundant layers, duplication of activities, duplication of data engineering efforts that we are weeding out as we go along without delaying the project, because obviously we can't do all of it, but we're recording all of it as we go along in that migration. That is another pain point that we're doing. We're trying to sort of build a plane while we're flying it, which is challenging in its own space. So as you can see, it is a much cleaner aspect in the after space where all the data that is moving can be consolidated in one single location, in one single data platform without too much layering. That was another challenge for us when we were actually understanding what all to migrate, what not to migrate. There was lots of layerings in the data lake itself that we have weeded out. A lot of the challenges that we've had is after we started the project, and we've been tackling those as we go along, because it could have taken us a lot longer if we had to wait and figure everything out before we started out. So that's a challenge that we are facing, and Teradata is working with us really well to make sure that we navigate through those challenges. As we move forward, there are lots of benefits and enablement that we are actually now realizing. First of all is that intelligent data-driven decisioning across the bank. We are getting operations and the view of all the processes into our branches, into our operations, discussing with everyone how they're performing their activities. That is the first benefit, the business benefit that we've been able to provide in the last few months. We are now employing AI ML techniques to deliver customer experiences, and I'll give you a few examples as we move forward on how that is progressing. Increasing business profitability by assisting people at each level of the enterprise to nurture productivity enhancement. So things that used to take 3-4 days, we're trying to cut that down to hours now, using all the data that we can collect in a structured and unstructured format. This is all possible through the modernization of the technology stack that we are doing, building a single source of truth through a hybrid deployment where our compute is protected, our customers are served instead of 2 p.m. at 10 a.m. We have simplified the model, and being able to use our customers and our internal stakeholders be able to use it much more clearly, much more sooner, and much more easily. They understand what they're doing now. Because before there were so many hops and so many layers, it was very difficult for them to understand how they were moving forward and how they were achieving those insights and results that they could see on their dashboards and reports. And last but not least, the operational excellence that it brings. The time to market has decreased manifold. The operational effectiveness has increased, and the costs are coming down of doing business. Through these, we are now able to enhance our capabilities across the 3 main spectrums that we're working at. Providing data into the hands of the users. Data models have decreased the time to insights. They're more consistent. They're easier to use. Build trust in data and metrics. People now make sense of their daily KPIs. They're consistent. They're not moving around as much. They can actually make decisions on it with confidence. In AI space, the faster experimentation. We have done more experiments on AI in the last 6 months than the last 4 years, because we're now able to use data to actually understand and fully move forward with all of our initiatives and actually fail fast and fail often methodology, so that we can actually get to just put it to rest. So we keep on going and understanding what needs to get done, how quickly we can get it done, and then move forward with it. One of the aspects that was missing was the forecasting and optimization in banks and anywhere in the organization. We need to make sure that we can forecast our activities so that we can actually bring better budgeting and better allocation of our resources at every stop. And we have been able to do that. We are still increasing and learning on that aspect, but at least we've started the journey. And it is becoming increasingly important for us to make sure that we keep on improving on that aspect. And last but not least is the generative AI aspect of it. We're leveraging more and more unstructured data to make sure that we can actually improve the productivity across the enterprise. We are standardizing coding practices. We're making sure that we have pattern-based development from a software perspective, from a data perspective, and then we can use those patterns to keep on iteratively improve on it. And that is providing an extra benefit because of the attrition in the workforce level. We can actually safeguard our code and our development practices. The 2 to 3 main things that we have done is develop the single source of truth. We would not be able to realize any benefit and enablement if we were not able to do it in that way. We have the data silos that have come down. We have the lack of trust gone away. We are now deploying all of our data models, unifying it, providing consistency, domains spending less time, and they're getting a better understanding of the entire data spectrum for all the customers that they've got. We're moving from a reporting mindset to an insights mindset. So people are moving off reports and Excel sheets, and they're moving on to self-service analytics to do their decision-making in a timely fashion. We have the data that is AI ready. We are seeing productivity improvements, and most of all, the data harmonization. We can, from a finance GL perspective, we are 95% harmonized in our reporting, which is a huge feat coming back from less than 50%. So that is a huge feat that we've actually achieved in the last 6 months. The other aspect that we have been moving forward on is deployment of ClearScape Analytics, where we are in the process of making sure that we deploy the critical capabilities and achieve business outcomes on it, where the AI-ready data is available for all of our data scientists, building AI at scale and empowering data citizens. So we are moving to an operating model of AI factory, not the Teradata's AI factory, but just an AI factory perspective, where we have data scientists being inducted across the organization. We need to have them use Jupyter Notebooks and ClearScape Analytics and the different tools that we've got to deploy their own models, understand them, use them, and then obviously work with us as the center of excellence to make sure that we can deliver AI POCs in time for them to industrialize. We've done it with 3 different domains at UBL, and all 3 domains have had at least 1 use case delivered into production today. So that is a model that is working very well for UBL, and it has been made possible with the technologies and tools that we are incorporating into UBL through Teradata and Teradata's applications. One of the key features of ClearScape Analytics is that there is less data movement. The bring your own model feature, it allows people to work on their own models, deploy them on ClearScape, and then use it very well to make sure that it can be deployed at a faster time to market, which is something that Vikas and the team is helping us immensely with to make sure that we succeed on that front. Moving forward from that, we can show you a few of the use cases that I had mentioned that we are now already in the space of delivering. So we've got a customer 360 view, which we've got delivered, and we have that available for all of our customers that currently are working on customers-facing areas. We've got monitoring of branches that we are doing in a real-time perspective. We've got digital journey mapping. We've got a data quality dashboard and its monitoring that is working very well. and branch operations. That is a huge hit with us to make sure that we can actually understand exactly what is happening in our branches in almost near real time. From an AI perspective, we are deploying activities with positive ROIs. We've got sales and customer experience. We've got deposit churn that has increased. Flight of deposit has been reduced by 10%. We have customer segmentation, which Teradata is helping us with hyper-personalization being pegged to provide us with revenue growth, and branch video analytics that will improve our customer experience throughout the branches that we are going to be deploying it at. From an AI agents perspective, from an LLM and Gen AI perspective, we are seeing 36% productivity gains when it comes to deploying LLM agents for our stakeholders and internal customers. We are also looking at service agents for our customer services moving forward, and looking at how we can automate our application processes, our credit assessment processes, and how that will impact our human agent time optimizations and credit card processing times. This will bring out a win-win situation where we have productivity gains for our employees and also a better experience for our customers to be able to perform their activities in a better manner much quicker. Operationally, we are also increasing our efficiencies. We have performed an ATM cash optimization use case delivered to the field, where we have reduced the ATMs that are out of cash down to 2%. That's across 1,500 plus ATMs. And we are also taking money out of ATM circulation. So that means that money that was sitting idle can now be taken out, and the opportunity cost can be saved. So we can actually put it to work. We can lend it, we can use something to it, so that we can actually start making money off the idle cash. We are also working with data scientists to improve the allocation of resources across our branches and across our workforce, so that we can actually save time, save money, and give better experiences to our customers. Moving forward from there, we have implemented this Lakehouse architecture and we're truly on our way to improving the maturity of the data literacy within UBL. About 6 months ago, we were at stage 1/stage 2, where ad hoc analysis were happening. Today, we are at stage 3, where we have brought down silos. We're building a single source of truth that can actually give a true picture of our customers to all of our employees. They can make better decisions, from product innovation to customer servicing to operational excellence. Where we want to be by the end of 2026 is to be able to embed data capabilities and enable data-driven decisioning across UBL. Connect all the dots to make sure that every decision that is being made, every material decision or substantial decision that is being made at UBL has data backing it. Without that, we will not be able to complete our journey of making sure that we are providing the best experience and best outcomes to our customers. And past 2026, we hope that we are going to infuse AI and digital analytics and intelligent decision-making up to stage 5 into the entire bank. Where we expect to be by the end of 2026, we have ClearScape Analytics deployed at scale, where AI can be deployed in weeks from inception of the idea to understanding if it's going to be productionalized or not. We should be able to do that in weeks compared to months currently. Customer 360 view for hyper-personalization, to make sure that we have a full picture of our customers, to make sure that we can offer the best offers and of products to our customers in near real time whenever they interact with the bank. Consolidating banking silos, all of the silos, the data silos that we've got, and make it one. Activating the metadata from the object store, unlocking further Lakehouse AI capabilities. So that is a big one, because currently we've got unstructured data, structured data. How do we move and combine them for our ClearScape Analytics? So we're extracting all the metadata from the unstructured format, putting it in a structured form, getting it up to make sure that we can use it effectively on time, and then make good insights of it, and then provide it through a single delivery layer. The next stop is going to be the Teradata AI Factory with an on-prem GPU cluster. We are in the process of discussing with Teradata on how that would work. We have a meeting, and this is the perfect opportunity. We have a meeting tomorrow as well on this perspective. The reason we want to do that is the skills gap that we've got. We could do it in bits and pieces and pull all of this together with a workbench, with a vector database, and the different databases that we need, and the GPUs and the CPUs, and network switching, which may or may not be available at the moment, which is the low latency network switches. Or we could talk to Teradata to understand how their AI factory works and how that factors into the whole equation and where we can use it. Like ClearScape Analytics, my experience is that when we put everything under one roof, it is just simpler, cleaner, easier to do. And and the ROI might be a bit better when you have everything under one roof, easily usable, and that can actually make a good ROI impact, rather than having a technology sprawl where we have to go back and forth, have multiple skill sets, have lots of people supporting different platforms, and then making everyone fall over each other. And last but not least, the Teradata Value Analyzer. That we've been using, UBL has been using that for the last 10 years, and I've been told that now a new version of TVA is coming on, which we are very excited to learn more about, to understand how we can use that in the future to make sure that we can actually provide the profitability of our customers. Excuse me. So the Teradata AI Factory, as I've mentioned, brings everything under one roof. Currently, there are customer GPUs that have to be bought on the side, but looking at the Teradata AI Factory, where you have the workbench, the DBs, and the microservices of NVIDIA all in one place, just makes it a natural choice to make sure that we should explore and understand how we can bring it all together, especially when you want to go to a data scientist citizen model, where you don't want technical people, only the technical people working on your AI use cases. If you want everyone to be using AI, you need to have easy-to-use tools that can actually provide you with the details and understanding of how it works in a clean manner. Moving across the next few years, where does UBL see itself? We see ourselves by moving in 2025, which is today, to 2026, where we have an integration of AI into our core systems, and then moving forward to 2027, where Gen AI infused is 2025, but in 2027, where Gen AI is infused into the entire organization. We need people to start using AI into their daily lives. It needs to be infused fully into it. And that is where we want to be by the end of 2027. And we see the Data Lakehouse as the key foundation to be able to do that. Because without proper data, without having a knowledge base that can be leveraged for your data analytics, data insights, AI, intelligent decision making, we will not be able to realize this. So, in a nutshell, the Data Lakehouse that we are building is the key foundation that will allow us to achieve our goal to provide excellent customer experiences to our customers, provide the best tools to our employees to increase their productivity, to provide them with more excellent tools where they can do their job much better in less time. So that was the whole data lakehouse journey that we are moving on. But I would like to reiterate that it's not just about technology. It's about the business outcome that we're after. It is a business strategy. UBL wants to move towards an AI-activated bank, an AI-first bank. The only way to do that is if the data is there present, it can support our ambitions to be able to do that. And Teradata as the knowledge platform is the right choice, in our opinion, to be able to do that in record time. It is not a project that we are planning to do over the 15 months, 16 months. We're doing it in 9 months so that we can get to it much faster. We can get to the realization of the investment, and we can actually start providing business value to all our internal and external customers. Thank you.
All right, do we have any questions for Raman from the audience? All right, while they're thinking, I'll start you with one. So I know you guys do a lot on-prem for compliance reasons and with the PII data, but I believe you still have a strategy to leverage cloud in certain cases, maybe non-PII. Could you also talk a little bit about how cloud plays into your strategy?
Yes, definitely. So all the compute-heavy stuff, we would like to use synthetic data to take it to the cloud, to train our models on the cloud where they're compute-heavy. And then once they're trained and we have confidence in their outcomes, we bring them for inference onto our on-prem data warehouse and data lakehouse. That's why the GPUs, the AI factory, and ClearScape Analytics are going to play such an important role for us. And as I've mentioned to Vikas and the CSPs that we're meeting here is, we've got a footprint that we are trialing in Azure in the UAE region, and we would like to understand how Teradata Vantage Cloud plays into that, how it factors in, how it plays into that. So yes, definitely, it has to. We cannot have a data platform for peak loads. It has to be for your average case scenarios.